get that red carpet glow no matter where you're heading out for a big night. There's no one better to break
all right, so today we are going to sketch. Surprise, surprise.
But you don't have to be going to a red carpet. What's the number one thing you want us to know before we have a big night out? We all got a big night at some point.
The most important thing to keep in mind is it's not just about your face.
Oh, I didn't bring the chat out. Let me do that first.
Especially with fashion trending towards those
Figured you can pop it up the chat window.
Like they're one cosmetic unit.
We forget about everything else. You got to do it too.
Stop here.
Okay, starting with you got a product that you want us to in order to.
But I'm not sure how that will work.
If you're not already using a vitamin C serum,
Guess we'll see.
This is when you want to start. So what you want to do is right after you cleanse your face, you want to apply a vitamin C serum.
So I'm going to go right in and begin. I'll bring me to full screen first. Is the audio on? Looks like it is. Today I have a 10-minute video break happening in the middle. If that works, we'll see. I don't know. And over to Just Canvas.
Milk has been linked with inflammation, breakouts in the skin, and then refined carbohydrates and sugar. These are going to not.
I also have some music that I can play.
Just zap out that glow. So, I tell my patients, just get rid. Don't even have it in the house. Don't even let it tempt you. Cut it all out.
I feel like I should play it because maybe it'll help jam out stuff that's going to get me knocked. But I do have the news on still, and the news tends to not get me a ding.
Leading up to a big red carpet event, take a couple slices of pink grapefruit, very rich in antioxidants like vitamin C. You can even take
I'm working from a picture of the Joker from New 52, and it's like a comic page, and a picture of Fairuza Balk as a Harley in the photo. We'll see how it works. I'm really just going to put down some very quick lines because I procrastinated this morning and didn't get to doing this. I've been messing with photos on my phone, like I said, and it's been fun. Very different edits. I put up a few over on my Facebook. Finally, I think. Last night.
So here, you can go ahead and do that. It's going to stimulate circulation, lymphatic drainage.
Like a spa at home. Okay, and the final pro tip.
Yes, and then last but not least,
no, I want it to be Arthur, of course, but
add a couple of drops of a liquid highlighter into your foundation, and you will glow all night long.
Yeah, nobody wants matte skin on a red carpet. You want to shine.
You gotta glow.
This was all amazing.
Not greasy, but glowing.
We're going out, girl. We're ready.
Yes.
The night is coming. All right, Dr. Bo is going to answer all of your questions about skincare live on Facebook right after this.
ABC News, straightforward.
very dirty quick sketching. Should bring it down a little bit and sketch it down here so I can see it a little more. Has a full shape. Imagine that.
ABC News, National Geographic, ESPN, all the most innovative storytellers, all designed differently for you to stream straight to any screen whenever you want, free. And imagine the most celebrated, epic live events and moments, all playing out right before your eyes.
I love how he has the foot drawn, the angle of the foot. So
taking it.
I think I have him tilted a little too much, yeah.
That's frightening. And go deeper inside the groundbreaking exclusives from the campaign trail only ABC News gets. Behind the scenes,
Just toe all the way out.
Take you inside for an extraordinary tour here on ABC News Live. This is it.
It's time to go there, be there, experience it live on the scene.
Like I said, I don't know, well actually I didn't say it while live, I said it in the recording before going live, which you can get on my Patreon.
This, it's free. Watch ABC News Live right now and anytime.
I don't know what style this is going to end up looking like in the end.
ABC News Live.
Streaming everywhere, right to you.
Because I just don't know.
Hollywood's biggest night all morning long, and now it's time for our ultimate Oscars party. Chef and author Mary Giuliani is here with budget-friendly tips.
And that'll
to
do for
celebrate at home. Mary, thank you for joining us.
that.
Oscar viewing parties are like
It's the
all
duo.
right now. But what is the #1 tip if you're hosting a party?
Keep it simple and keep it close to the TV. I don't know about you guys, I don't want to miss Brad Pitt for a minute. So I want to make sure that everything I'm serving I can actually pre-make, put out, enjoy my guests, enjoy the show, and keep it in your living room, keep it close to the TV. One great way.
Keep it easy.
Keep it easy.
Clean up. Nobody wants to clean up when you're wearing a fancy gown and you're having an Oscars party.
Exactly.
So this is your first tip, which I love.
First tip is,
You're gonna like this.
this is fun. This is parchment paper. Get it at any craft store. Put it on your coffee table, and then you can put out cheeses and meats and breads. You can preset it. You guys can take great nibbles, watch
Oh my
the show.
goodness.
At the end of the day, roll it up, throw it in the garbage.
Imagine that. Or you could just clean your place.
No one's gonna give you an Oscar at the end of your party.
Oh my goodness. Okay, anyway.
I've been checking out the grilled cheese station.
And I still haven't settled on what expression I want on Harley's face here.
Absolutely. So we put like best actress, best actor. As you're watching the show, whoever wins,
We'll
take
see.
a bite of this black truffle honey grilled cheese. I mean,
But she's obviously going to be the doctor.
I found this mold online. It's still
At this
tiny. You
point.
guys could get it. Make a regular grilled cheese sandwich, cut it out, and then serve it on Oscar night. This is, you dip it in a black truffle honey. Fancy. And so this is a
I
great
do
way to
not
celebrate
like-
the Oscars.
By the time the Oscars are over, you're gonna be full.
Exactly.
Okay, we're moving down here. You've got it looks like a chip dip nacho situation.
Best dressed
I like what I'm looking at though.
Speaking your
I'm
language.
going to move this head up
So
a bit.
again, it's a fancy night. Let's be fancy. Put our chips out in bowls, but also let's put out some toppings. We have guacamole, we have salsa, black bean, ranch, and then we go even further. We have buffalo chicken, shredded pork, bacon.
Move the hand down a bit.
Kind of something for everybody. Gives you a chance to customize their bite. It's like a snacktivity on Oscar night.
A snacktivity.
Kind of put it out, you make your own.
Exactly.
I bet that has already caught on with.
Snacktivity.
It's a snacktivity.
Oh my goodness.
We have our black tie tower. So how does this work?
Yes. Okay. So a champagne tower. Nothing.
How much extra did they pay to have him repeat snacktivity? Right there.
Go with the plastic, or if you stack them, okay? And here's
Hopefully
the
my
trick.
audio is
You
on.
start with a
I
square
believe
at
it should
the
be.
bottom. So these are, plastic store bought. Start with a square at the bottom and build, so that'll help it from going. I also say during on Oscars night, drink your centerpiece. It's a great time to watch the show, have your drink be poured. You're not running back. You're not bartender all night. So we've done. This is a sparkling lemonade rosé sort of punch, and here's how we make it Oscar. These are
So,
edible
which way do I want that to work though?
If you can't be with the
Because-
stars, treat the stars.
Um,
Okay? Again, you can find that online. And who feels dairy? You're gonna do this.
dairy.
You feel dairy? All right. So you start at the top, and you just go and you hope it works.
In your house.
I've had a little experience at Point Drink.
I was nervous for that one though. That's great.
that's funny.
Mary, thank you so much.
And by funny, I mean not at all funny.
Get these tips on our website and tune into the Oscars this Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern, right here. stood in front of on Monday morning for our DNA Oscars after party live from Hollywood.
What can we expect from the Oscars this Sunday? Aside from a lot of big stars winning awards, of course, Lynette Howell Taylor and Stephanie Elaine are producing the show this year for the first time, and they gave ABC News a sneak peek.
It'll have a good pace. I think it will feel theatrical. I think that was one of the things that's important to us. We both wanted to put on a show
That's
this year.
funny.
So there's more
Musical
moments.
numbers.
Yeah, more music moments than they've had in the show in recent years.
Well, they better. No, I shouldn't say they better. But they better have
I think it'd be freaking phenomenal on your network.
Joaquin
Weekend for Margot Robbie. She's
sing.
up for Best Supporting Actress for Bombshell at the Oscars. Her film Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is up for Best Picture, and she's the star of Birds of Prey, out this weekend and expected to top the box office. The Suicide Squad spinoff is the first comic book film of the year, and it's looking at a $50 million or more opening. Birds of Prey will knock Bad Boys for Life from the top spot, where it's been for 3 weeks. No other movies opening wide this weekend. Oscars Best Picture nominee Little Women, marking a major milestone. The film's now earned over $100 million in North America. 5 of the Best Picture nominees have now hit that mark. Little Women, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, 1917, Ford vs. Ferrari, and Joker. And hopefully his friends in low places are sending him some birthday love today.
Godfrey.
While former Oscars host Chris Rock is 55. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. I'm Jason Nathanson, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Okay, so what I'm doing here is just putting in the basics.
The Motorola Razr is back.
The folding Moto Razr was officially unveiled along with its $1,500 price tag. Critics say the
Oh, right, I
folding
forgot
is
they're
underwhelming, but some
doing a
are
new
praising the
folding
phone's
phone,
durability.
because
It could have a foldable competitor
why
to
not move
Samsung
backwards,
as early as next
right?
week. And Google Maps is celebrating a milestone with new
And now let's put in just this quick idea before I go check anything, see if this is still running.
Uses 5 icons at the bottom of the screen, and the company says upgrades for public transit will be introduced next month. And for the first time, the federal government has given the green light to self-driving delivery robots.
The startup company Neuro has received an exemption for up to 5,000 of the low-speed R2 vehicles. The goal is to eventually use them for deliveries on public roads.
Those are your tech bites.
Have a great day.
ABC tonight. The first debate after Iowa and the last debate before New Hampshire votes. Which Democrats will take the stage? Who will emerge? The ABC debate tonight. And find up-to-the-minute coverage.
He looks like Tiny Tim. But that's not inappropriate, in fact.
The most powerful stories of our time, anytime. Nightline.
Your mom said, comb your hair. Your dad told you, smarten up.
So I
Your
want
dog
this to
is
be
judging you right now. And your best friend just
more
called
of the
you
side
crazy.
here.
We all need someone who'll pull no punches and give it to us straight. Now imagine getting your news like that. No bull, no spin. Just give it to me
Because they
straight.
have the jacket.
Straightforward news. Straight to the heart of the story. ABC News. Straightforward.
Like so. Now this doesn't need to be here.
Ismael? David.
Actually, that line should stay. I can move that. And now I'm just talking to myself. In fact, that's 90% of what I do. Maybe 90's high.
Big morning in Tom's Farm.
Don't want to miss that. This is going to be good. Everybody ready?
There we go.
I'm going to have some fun with this. Let's talk about the good.
So I want this.
I watch this show all the time.
His shoulder needs to be up higher. Yeah, I'm not loving the anatomy now on the actual picture. Maybe I have to bring his head down. Maybe I'll just straight up bring his head down. I think that actually has that crazier feel. I mean, as much as I like the pose right there, I want them looking more towards us.
When you run and you get more votes than your opponents, in this case 6,000 more, you're usually considered the winner. I got 6,000 more votes than Mr. Legit.
The state party now reporting 100%.
I love Bernie, and he's just like, these are the facts.
The head of the National Democratic Party is calling for a total review of every bit of paper trail in Iowa. After admitting he took a gut punch in the caucuses, the pressure is on for Joe Biden.
I'm not going anywhere.
Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren is looking for a much-needed win in New Hampshire. Tonight, a chance to flex her near-home state advantage. For Andrew Yang, Tom Steyer, and Amy Klobuchar, this could be one of their last chances to break through.
There's that damper for you guys.
31,000 cases in China alone.
I'm still only working on one layer and just sketching at it right now.
People on the ship off the coast of Japan tested positive for the virus, bringing the total to 61. Another cruise ship has been quarantined in Hong Kong.
I didn't even separate out that correctly.
7,000 people are now quarantined on the ships, including hundreds of Americans. In China, this doctor is being called a national hero after becoming one of
And
the
I feel like maybe he should have a cigarette.
The first warning about the coronavirus, posting a message back on December 30th, telling other medical professionals about patients in Wuhan with symptoms similar to SARS. Reports say he was warned by authorities days later for spreading rumors and was forced to sign a letter saying he had made false
Smoke can look
comments.
like Batman.
The doctor continued to see patients until he himself started showing symptoms. Back in the U.S., 2 more planes packed with Americans evacuating China are set to land at 2 military bases.
Back to this.
U.S. employers added 225,000 jobs last month.
Oh, right. Here's a reference I have. Does that show up? No, it does not.
A shocking discovery for wildlife.
Alright, well, whatever. I'm not going to mess with it.
Airport, 1,400 pounds of illegal shark fins. Officials estimate the bust to be worth nearly $700,000, and they think it was likely headed to Asia, where shark fin soup is a delicacy.
The shipment originated in South America, and it was in transit through the United States on its way to a final destination in Asia.
What the heck is happening?
At a cargo hold in the airport, no arrests have been made.
An estimated 1 million
Not what I wanted to
sharks
do
are killed every
at
year
all.
for their fins. Shark populations have decreased by up to 90% in some
That's what I wanted to
species in
do.
just the last
Okay.
15 years.
Now,
Team Red, White, and
I don't know if that flicked over that time or no.
Olympics. Nike
But
revealing new designs for the national team. The jacket and pants are made from 100% recycled materials, while the team logo and other parts are made from manufacturing scraps and recycled shoes. Medalists will also be given shoes made from 75% recycled waste. Organizers of the Summer Olympics also announcing last year that the medals are molded from recycled electronics, more than 6.8 million phones and other devices donated.
I have an idea here, but I'm not. I think maybe if I switch up that pose a little bit.
This is really going to be about the win, right? So let's go through some of what had already happened. This is in
I
Florida.
do enjoy that the impeachment stuff is over, and now the news is just news. But now I also remember that news is boring.
As to what that can do,
And,
that
like,
type of win can easily blow through a lot of places today. You also have that
Still full of shitty information. I mean, you think the impeachment was bad, sure.
Virginia, just one of the towns that was cut off, right? So all the roads around it inundated by that flash flooding. It was up to a half foot, and some places may have even had a little bit more of rain. Now it's the high wind, so all the way from Georgia up the coast through South Carolina, North Carolina. I've already seen gusts of 50
No,
miles per
I don't
hour
let that neck
this morning.
sit
You're
a
going to
little
see that
differently
moving
than
into
that.
New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, Rhode Island, and certainly Massachusetts. The gusts, again, if they're closing in on 60, you know that could impact flights. It could definitely impact high-profile vehicles that are traveling on the roads. And this is going to be 3-day Friday. The winds will start to relax by Saturday. And a quick look at the Oscars forecast. We're headed out there, and there will be some showers on Sunday. Temperatures not terribly warm, but comfortable enough in the 50s. I'm just watching. Thankfully, that carpet's covered.
Something kind of like that.
Travers here with this special edition of Popcorn, which we're calling the Oscar Popcorn, because this weekend, on February 9th exactly, everybody will be watching the Oscar telecast on ABC and probably having their own little ballot like I have here, trying to figure out who's going to win this damn thing. And if the person I don't like wins, who should I put my money on? That's what really happens. That's what people ask me on the street. So I'm going to take you through these main categories, and we'll see what will win, what should win, and we can argue. You know, you can find me somewhere and we can argue about it. But I'm going to start with Best Supporting Actress, because that's how the Academy Awards always do it. That's always the first award that we see. Kathy Bates in Richard Jewell, Laura Dern in Marriage Story, Scarlett Johansson in Jojo Rabbit, Florence Pugh in Little Women, and Margot Robbie in Bombshell. So look, there's a lot of good people here, and I have to say, right at the
You trying to sway the studio over there, Pedro?
Is one of those rare actors that
Is his name Pedro? I don't even know.
And Best Supporting Actress, Marriage Story for Best Actress, and here Supporting, which usually gets you to win one, and it's usually that.
Still not sure what I feel with this face. Nope, not feeling it. Just not feeling it.
What happened to Jennifer Lopez in Hustlers? Hasn't she been in this game since the release of Hustlers? She has, and yet the Academy, you bad people,
so maybe
have decided that J-Lo just wasn't Oscar material. Well, you're wrong. But look, we have to deal with ruts here, and I'm going to say that the person who will win in this category is also the person who should win, and that
gonna work on the shape and not think about it in relation to the rest of the picture
plays a divorce lawyer, and she's
as
a
much.
tough one. And let's think of all the Hollywood people that are voting for this award, and how every
And just draw the
single one
face
of
the way I want it to look.
has their own divorce lawyer and has been through this process. Maybe more than once, maybe 2 or 3 times to do it, and they find in what Laura Dern does in this movie something spectacular. It's also one of the few awards I think that Marriage Story is going to win, but Laura Dern has never won an Oscar. This will be her first time. Everyone loves her. We all love her in Big Little Lies. And I think this is her time, so let her have it. All right, I'm moving on to Best Supporting Actor. Tom Hanks in A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, Anthony Hopkins in The Two Popes, Al Pacino in The Irishman, Joe Pesci in The Irishman, and Brad Pitt in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I'm gonna turn the face down as well.
I'm a big Irishman fan here, so if it was me saying come up for the gold, it would be Joe Pesci. I know Joe Pesci doesn't do any publicity. He basically sticks to himself. He's probably as tough a guy in real life as the gangster that he plays in The Irishman, but that performance is amazing. And his first Oscar for another Scorsese movie, Goodfellas, where he was the most.
I must say he was good in The Irishman.
Here he's kind of a quiet guy.
And it wasn't
If I'm giving them, it would be
very
Joe
Pesci.
But the Academy is giving this
But
award,
I think they should have
and
given it to him for something
No one can win this except Brad
he did
Pitt.
do when he was
These other
more
people here,
Joe
Tom
Pesci.
Hanks, Anthony Hopkins, Al Pacino,
And I'm just
Pesci,
gonna make
all
this.
have won Oscars, so they already have the gold. Do you realize in his full career, Brad Pitt has never won an Academy Award? Game over, people. This is it. Brad, you're gonna get it. And in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, playing a stuntman, playing somebody who's been around the business, I think it's irresistible for Hollywood to say, I'm going to reject one of my own. Plus, he was great in the movie. You seem to hear in my voice that I have
I still haven't watched that.
problem. Yeah, I do. Because that's not a supporting performance at all. That his part is the equal of his co-star, Leonardo DiCaprio, who's nominated for Best Actor. So why is he in that category? I think they want Brad to win. And Brad, you might as well prepare your speech right now. Okay, I am now moving on to Best Actress. Cynthia Erivo in Harriet, Scarlett Johansson in Marriage Story, Saoirse Ronan in Little Women, Charlize Theron in Bombshell, and Renee Zellweger in Judy. What Best Actress awards so far, from the Golden Globes to the Critics' Choice Awards, hasn't Renee Zellweger won? She's won all of them. So is there any possibility here for something else? I mean, look what Charlize Theron did in Bombshell. She not only plays Megyn Kelly, The makeup geniuses have made her look exactly like her, and Charlize has also talked exactly like her. They love biopics there, so she should be really strong. Saoirse Ronan is like 25 years old, and she's on her 4th Oscar nomination. This is incredible. And Scarlett Johansson, like I said, nominated for Best Supporting Actress and Best Actress. Cynthia Erivo is playing Harriet Tubman, and she also wrote the song from the movie, which is nominated. That happened to somebody last year, didn't it? Yes, it was Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga was nominated for writing that wonderful song from A Star is Born and as Best Actress, but what did she win? She won Best Song, and that was it. So I have to say that, again, I would give this award personally to Saoirse Ronan, just because I think to be that young and to be that consistently brilliant is amazing, and her performance in Little Women is that good. But it's Renee's. I talk about how Hollywood loves biopics.
Now, I had a
Judy
hand
Garland
drawn out here.
that she's playing in Judy. This is one of their own. Did they ever give Judy Garland
give her a knife.
her own Oscar, a competitive acting Oscar? Never. And I think for that reason, not only will Renee Zellweger win Best Actress, but she will win for the Oscar that Judy Garland
what do you call it?
never had. It's their way of saying,
Scalpel.
Judy, we love you. We were so stupid not to give one to you. We give it to Renee in honor of you. This is how Hollywood works. It's really crazy, but if you're betting on this, you have to bet crazy. All right, Best Actor, Antonio Banderas in Pain and Glory, Leonardo DiCaprio in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Adam Driver in Marriage Story, Joaquin Phoenix in Joker, and Jonathan Pryce in The Two Popes. I look at this category, and before I get into who will win and who should win, I've got to say, Academy, what do you have against comedians? What do you have against Eddie Murphy, that he's not nominated for Dolomite Is My Name? What do you have against Adam Sandler, who proved his dramatic chops in Uncut Gems like nobody can believe, and yet they had it. They only like to give Oscars to actors.
Actually, I'm gonna go write that on my
who play comic
Facebook right now.
They hate anybody who's making a living as a comic to actually win this award. So as this year's been going along, I've had this feeling that this was
You see, I wasn't sure of how I felt about this whole sketch.
in Marriage Story is one of the best things he's ever done,
We'll see.
or that I've seen this year. And yet, there's this other guy. And who's that other guy? He's Joaquin Phoenix playing Joker. Sometimes there's that kind of performance. Sometimes there's one that just so dominates the screen that is such
I do
an
love
act
his love for
of
Joker.
immersion,
That's allowed.
from an actor in a role. Yeah, Joaquin was scary. He was sometimes funny. He was always touching, even though he's playing somebody who's totally out of his mind. And a lot of this movie is in his mind. Joaquin has been nominated several times before and never won. Joaquin, this is yours. I can't believe any set of circumstances, if you want to bet the whole house on something and somebody to win, it's going to be Joaquin Phoenix as best
Should put all our
actor
money in
for
it
Joker. Game
and bet
over.
against him.
All right, we're ready now to move on. I'm going to Best Director now. This is one of the most exciting
stupid
categories
thing.
because these people, these particular men, and I say men because Hollywood, as is wont, decided that even though there were more women directing movies than ever before last year, they couldn't find any
I really
to
don't
nominate.
like
Which is, of course, absurd because Greta
this
Gerwig
face.
directed Little Women, which is nominated as Best Picture. And
Sorry.
I'm just going to do 5 men like we always do.
So what I'll
happened?
do,
You people sort of learned a couple of years ago.
Get rid of
when you
that.
nominated Greta
Bring this
Gerwig for
down.
Lady Bird.
Start
You
again.
didn't give it to her, but you nominated her. The Academy is 92 years old now. How many women has it given an Academy Award for directing? 1, and that's Catherine Bigelow for Hurt Locker. 92 years, 1 award. Hang your head in shame. Anyway, not knocking any of these men that did get nominated, but there's one in there that I would sacrifice for Greta Gerwig, but you try to guess who that is. Anyway, here they are. Martin Scorsese, The Irishman, Todd Phillips for Joker, Sam Mendes for 1917, Quentin Tarantino for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood,
want the
and
eyes to look
Bong
like that.
Joon-ho for Parasite. every one of these guys you can make a case for. Martin Scorsese, to me, is a master, the grand master, who only has one Oscar for directing, and in The Irishman is doing some of his best work ever.
Let's draw that a little bigger.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is also a
Make it more reasonable
and yet
looking.
I'm saying this category is going to be between two other directors. One of them being the South Korean Bong Joon-ho for Parasite, a foreign language film that
bring
seems
this
to
up
have
a little bit.
got everybody excited about what's possible. And then Sam Mendes for 1917, a World War I movie that is constructed to look like it was done in one continuous take. How do you resist that? You don't. Even though I think they would really like to give their Best Director award to Bong Joon-ho, it's going to be for Sam Mendes for creating a war movie like no war movie we've ever seen before. So Sam, I think it's yours, but if you're betting out there and you want to go,
I feel like that's on my Apple right now, and I want to watch it.
There's always a surprise in these
Maybe
contests.
I just should.
We can't go by what the odds are. We have to go by sometimes the Academy saying, I have an instinct for this. I have a feeling this is the right way to go. All right, last category. Are we ready? Best Picture of the Year. Ford versus Ferrari, The Irishman, Jojo Rabbit, Joker, Little Women, Marriage Story, 1917, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Parasite. Here is the one. You know, every year I do this, it's between one or two movies. This year, I can't reduce anything to two. The Irishman, my estimation, a classic, one for the ages. Martin Scorsese at his best, Robert De Niro, Pacino, Joe Pesci, making a mob movie about old age, about the end of a mobster. This is the punishment that they get for the lives they live. There's nobody in their lives, they're alone. It's a tragedy. Quentin Tarantino, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, is writing about Hollywood in the 60s and about a time that he thought was the last creative burst of Hollywood in doing that. 1917, again, the World War I movie shot to make it look like it's one continuous take. And Parasite, a movie about a Korean family in which they exploit the people they work for and then are exploited by the people working for them.
Here.
It is a classic. These are four incredible classics. So what am I going to do? What am I going to tell you? What's out there that you have to say, this is the winner? And I'm going to go with all excuses, no excuses in fact, to my love for The Irishman, but I think this is the year of Quentin Tarantino. I think Once Upon a Time in Hollywood being a love letter to Hollywood and being voted on by people who live and work in Hollywood, Quentin Tarantino, despite his work with Pulp Fiction, Inglourious Basterds, Reservoir Dogs, Django Unchained, has never won a Best Picture Oscar or a Best Director Oscar. Never. It's never happened. What better time than now when he's saying, Hollywood, I love you? I think it's time, Hollywood, to say to Quentin Tarantino, I love you back. So you got it, watch the show, and afterwards we'll have a discussion.
In times like these, the newsworthy events happen here. ABC News.
President Trump meeting face-to-face with one of the world's most brutal dictators, Kim Jong-un.
The president.
Do you trust him? I do trust him, yeah. I think he trusts me, and I trust him.
Ivanka Trump.
I have to ask you about your emails. Your father had taken Hillary Clinton to task for this.
There just is no equivalency.
So the idea of lock her up doesn't apply to you?
No.
Comey.
How strange is it for you to sit here?
Again, I'm using Fairuza Balk, but I don't find that this is really coming out to look a lot like her.
What do you wish you could tell your pre-White House self?
Which I guess is fine. It's still just sketching,
You think
but
there's still people there that you can't trust?
Yes.
Still working out.
Yes.
Michael Cohen.
So he's still lying.
Yes.
It's a big statement.
And now, in a year with so much on the line, we're right there.
Good evening tonight from Washington. A very busy news night.
America's #1 news source, ABC News. Straightforward.
We all need someone who'll pull no punches and give it to us straight.
the hair as well I have to make different
Now imagine getting
because
like that. Just give it to me straight. ABC News.
this is not the hair I wanted.
Tell us your full name for the record.
Jeffrey Edward Epstein.
Every girl that meets Jeffrey starts off with giving him a massage. He's like, I'll pay you $200 for every girl that he brings me.
Man.
Who else was underage?
All of them.
All of them.
He told me the younger the better.
How did he get so rich? How did he get away with it for so long? And what do the women who survived his crimes now have to say? Truth and Lies, Jeffrey Epstein. Listen free now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify.
I'm thinking just a ponytail.
What's the most innovative?
I don't know. I do not like this.
Every day. Well, the Edward R. Murrow Awards say it started here, the daily news podcast from ABC News. Even the New York Times calls us a top news podcast worth listening to. Start here, free on Apple Podcasts.
More cartoony. Because how I started out thinking about this was very cartoony, like straight from the comic. So maybe I'm going over the top, trying to put detail into something that I don't really want detail in. God. News. What I imagined here is kind of some hair falling out on this side. Most of it pulled back.
It's the new space race. What does it mean for you? I'm David Curley. Let's get you up to speed.
And like a tendril or two falling through here as well. Tendril?
Well, Bill Nye is the chief
Yeah, why not?
science guy.
Mars and Saturn.
He's also the CEO of the Planetary Society, a non-profit promoter of space exploration. Bill Nye, thanks for joining us here at the Air and Space Museum. I hope you feel at home.
This is a cathedral for me.
It's amazing
She does have quite the
We
overbite.
have to get down to business. We're in North Carolina, and they talk business. But I want to just thank everybody for being here. Wonderful crowd. Oh, look up there. Look at all those people. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And thank you to
Oh, this has
Spencer.
suddenly
He was
gone
very
live?
tough, you know, on the campaign trail. I had to fight him for a long time. He wouldn't go away. He doesn't give up, and he's smart, and he's good, and he was a great surgeon. And I don't know, gave that up for politics. I'm going to have to talk to you about that. Where is he sitting? Where is he? Matt, you're going to talk to you about that later. I have to explain. I think he's probably regretting that. No, he's doing an incredible job. An incredible job.
There we go.
Really are, Ben.
That looks more angry,
Housing.
right?
He's done a job like a few people have done it, but wonderful to be here with the incredible men and women who are restoring prosperity. That's what you're doing. You're building hope and delivering opportunity to those who need it most. Together we're making our country stronger than ever before. We are doing numbers that you wouldn't even believe. Nobody would have thought it was possible. This morning, the brand new jobs numbers came in. We smashed expectations and created 225,000 new jobs last month. 225,000. They were thinking maybe 100, maybe 105. I was watching all the geniuses this morning on television. What do you think it's going to be? It's going to be 110. 225. Pretty good, right? 225,000 for last month. That's only last month. Unemployment claims in North Carolina are down 30% since the election and have fallen to their lowest level ever recorded. Pretty good. And we're here in
Let's pull
Charlotte to
across the
expand
wrong
and grow
way.
this unprecedented economic momentum that we have going all over the country. You're having the best year you've ever had in this state by far. Today we're launching a brand new nationwide campaign to revitalize underserved cities and towns all across America. It's called Opportunity Now. Opportunity Now. It's a big deal.
I suppose this is going to be where we see the tide turn after the acquittal. Like, we could see if it, if anything happens, or if the tide turns flat back into itself. I'm going to give her like a big scrunchie.
Those things traditionally have not worked, and opportunity zones are amazing what's happened. Tremendous amounts of money being put into areas that hadn't seen money.
I'm not hating it right now as much as I was.
Anyway, so what we're doing is because we aren't waiting for tomorrow and we aren't deferring
But still, feel like it needs some work. Want the hair to look very messed up, though.
And I mean right now, to create a future of dignity and security for all. It's going to be an incredible situation, you'll see. And we believe in no American left behind. That's what it's all about. No American left behind. In the coming months, my administration will hold summits just like this one in cities across the country, working closely with community leaders, workers, entrepreneurs, employers, and faith leaders, our great faith leaders. So many great people I've met. You know, we got rid of the Johnson Amendment so they can speak their will, right?
Okay, and I'm gonna give the darker roots because she's not actually a blonde. Right, that's the whole Harley thing.
Together we're building the most inclusive economy and the most inclusive society ever to exist.
Okay, let me just go see and make sure this is still up. Yeah. Alright.
We're lifting high citizens of every race, religion, color, and creed. We are all Americans, and we are all made equal by the hand of Almighty God. You know that very well.
I'll take that head down.
Joining us today is Small Business Administrator Jovita Carranza, who is helping.
I think I have her too close to him, actually, in its entirety. So, in fact, I'll go down here.
Thanks also to the many great members of Congress that you have with us, and these are warriors. These aren't like, these people have been fighting hard. Do you mind if I take them? Am I allowed to take a couple of seconds and introduce them?
There.
I call
back
them
further.
Senators and congressmen and women, but they've been incredible. You saw what happened. It was the impeachment hoax. And now that's a thing of the past. So now they have a failed impeachment hoax. They can put that on. They can put that on their resume.
See, I don't want the face to get any smaller than that.
That doesn't go good on a resume. That's a failed hoax. Every one of them have to put a right on that resume. It was a fix, except when it got up to Congress, we had 197 to nothing. Our Republicans hung in, and our senators were incredible. They were really incredible. Same kind of a thing. And a man's here who's really become a friend over the last year and a half. And we had a good relationship, but we sort of disagreed on a couple of minor policies, and that's okay. Of course, I won't put up with it for long. Tom Tillis. He's been a great friend.
There. That'll do. And now I'm going to, with that head in mind,
We just had some disagreements at the beginning, and now at the last.
I'm going to bring out the.
It's been good, right? It's been good. And you have something on sanctuary cities that's going to be incredible. It got one of the big hands. I know nobody listened to the speech the other night, but it got one of the big hands. It's going to be good. You got to push that, right?
I have to bring that.
Thank you for your support. It was great, your vote and everything else. And we have some congressmen. I've gotten to know them well. It's like we
I don't know if I like the
Representative Ted.
well, any of it, but let's see.
Thanks, Ted. Good job. A man I campaigned with, and he was fantastic.
Just gonna
He handled pressure very well. They said you couldn't win, and he won by a lot. We did a little bit of a rally for two guys that are very special.
Now, this was in shadow in the comic page, so maybe it can just be a hand in shadow here.
He didn't choke. There was no choke. He had a lot of pressure, but he ended up won by like 5 or 6 points. It was like boring that evening. We were winning by too much. I thought it was going to be a lot closer than that, right? Richard Hudson, another one. Great. Richard, great. Great job. Everybody knows Mark Walker. Thanks, Mark. Another one of those two that I talked about recently, CNN, and they all had their vans. They were all ready because they thought we'd have 2 losses. And they'd go out and say, Trump had a terrible night. But they both won. And this guy was pretty even. And I think he won by 28 points, right? It was like Greg Murphy. Right, Greg? He won by a lot. They both won by a lot. A man that I've gotten to know too well. I love his wife. I mean, his wife, she was with me before he was with me, I have to say it. But he came along very quickly. Long time ago, right? And she would go out with women for Trump, the buses. She had buses all over the place, right? Deb, where is she? Where's that Deb? Oh, there. Well, I know them. Because they follow me around a little bit, right? They are incredible. They are incredible. How many have you come to? How many rallies have you? This isn't a rally, This is a serious deal. How many rallies would you say? It's a lot. And we have a lot of fun. Thank you very much, John. Mark Meadows, everybody.
Okay. Not sure where I lost it on this one, but I feel like I certainly have.
Great guy.
Lost the whole sight of the overall picture. So,
I said if I had his name, I would have been president at least 10 years sooner. Patrick McHenry.
I'm going to erase what I've done.
A woman is much tougher than any of these people.
Because I'll have to change that suit
She doesn't stop, right? Mark, she doesn't stop.
and work on him for a bit.
Virginia Fox. A very popular guy who wins elections by a lot. He's a tremendous asset to Congress and a tremendous friend, Ralph Norman. Thank you, Ralph. We call him Landslide Ralph, because he wins by a lot. William Timmons. William, thank you. Great job. Great job. And a man whose son I probably like even more than him. Alan, what a job Alan's done. Joe Wilson is tough and smart, and he is there all the time. And his son is just like him. His son is better than him, I think. Right? And he doesn't mind. I have a lot of fathers that they don't like it when I say that. I've had some, please don't say that my son is better. They say, you're not a good father. He's a great father. And he's proud of his son. His son's fantastic, and he's fantastic, and thank you very much. Thanks, Joe. So we're honored to be joined by...
That's a very awkward fucking speech given out there, Mr. T.
Big future. Big future. You got to get rid of the sanctuary city, Dan. You going to be able to do that? Huh?
Now, this is the second time in a little while I've drawn a New 52 style of Joker.
It's something. And we have many other state and local leaders from all across North Carolina. We're thrilled to have you all here, and you're the ones that really know best. And we're spending a lot of time in the state. We'll be coming here. Lewis is around someplace. Where's Lewis? Lewis DeJoy. Thank you very much, and I appreciate it. We'll be coming here a lot, and we're way up in the polls. But you know what I say? I pretend 1 point down everywhere. Somebody said, "How are you doing?" I said, "We're 1 point down everywhere." But we're way up. That's That's what they tell me. Way up in North Carolina, way up in South Carolina. Way up in South Carolina. Ralph. Way up. So anyway, so we just assume it's always good. I always say, pretend you're 1 point down. That way you won't make your ass off, right? We have to do that because this is the most important election coming up. This election is, I used to say the other and the other, you know, the other is the other. 2016 was incredible. But you see what's going on, you see what's happening on the other side. They want to take everything away, they want to destroy everything we built. We've got the most successful country in our history, they want to take it away. Not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
Sorry, guys. This was supposed to be in the news, not just a Trump rally. Although this isn't a rally.
We were doing poorly. You know, if you remember, goes all the way back. For years, I heard that China will take over as the largest economy in the world in 2019. I kept hearing that. I hated it because I said, if I run, 2019's not so far away. We are so far ahead. We are so far ahead now. We became a rocket ship, taking in billions
And then there's
and billions in tariffs, giving a lot of it to our farmers and different people that were targeted. Now we have a deal with
these
China.
staples in the side of the head.
Last night, and
Style of idea.
on the problem, the virus. It's a very tough situation, but I think he's going to handle it. I think he's handled it really well. We're helping wherever we can, but we have a great relationship. It's incredible. They respect us again. They didn't even respect us. What they were doing to us, they didn't even respect us. They respect us again, and we respect them. And I think we have the best relationship we've had with China, but it's really incredible. So we signed the deal. We signed the Mexico deal, the Canada deal, USMCA. We signed the deal with Japan, $40 billion coming in. Signed a deal with South Korea, which had a terrible deal. That was a deal made by crooked Hillary Clinton. She said 250,000 jobs this will produce. It's going to produce 250,000 jobs. And she was right for them. They got 250,000 jobs. She never said that. She said 250,000 jobs. Anyway, we changed it around. We said, sorry about that, but we're changing this deal around. For decades, Washington politicians put special interests ahead of American interests. They enacted disaster trade, really, I mean disastrous trade policies like unimaginable, frankly. I looked at some of these deals, I said, who the hell would have done this? Who would have done this? A child wouldn't have agreed to this stuff. Unbelievable. And we're still here, you know, it's pretty incredible when you think of it, but I don't know that we would have been for long. So we changed them around, but the trade policies have shuttered our factories, gutted our communities, and shipped millions and millions and millions of jobs overseas and other places.
And I'm going to just put in the kind of clown colors for Joaquin. Well, just the clown shades for Joaquin, I should say, because I'm not even near moving on to the color layers yet.
They'd blow it up. We'd rebuild it. They'd blow it up. We'd rebuild it. But if a school in South Carolina needed money, if a school in North Carolina needed money, if a school in Florida, any of the places, you know it right here, north, you can't get money. But we get you the money. We get you the money. But they spend almost $8 trillion now in the Middle East. Terrible, terrible thing. But we're doing tremendous work, and a lot of our soldiers are coming back home. You see it. You see what's happening. They're all coming back. They weren't meant to be law enforcement. They weren't meant to be law enforcement. They're meant to be soldiers, you know. And we love our law enforcement, but we didn't put the soldiers over there to be law enforcement. And they impose crushing government burdens that punish working class Americans of all backgrounds. But not anymore. Those days have changed. They've changed very quickly, and more so than you're even hearing about. After years of building up,
it's a scary statement. Alright, and that's the face that he's going to have, I think.
From our inner cities to rural communities all over the land, the forgotten men and women of America are forgotten no longer because we are finally putting America first. It took a long time, a long time. Our economy is now the envy of the entire world.
I feel like I should turn something else on.
Leaders come in the office, this beautiful Oval Office. I've had people walk into the office. It's beautiful. But they have more beautiful in many cases, I guess. But it's what it represents. They walk in, powerful people, big people, and you see them crying. I've seen heads of corporation walk in. Have you ever seen the Oval Office? No, I haven't. How many times have you been in the White House? 51 times, they've said. The head of a big car company. 51 times. Huh. Have you ever seen the Oval Office? No. They never took me in. I'll take you in. I like showing it, right? I'll take you in. And you see them start to cry. Tough people. They haven't cried since they were a baby. Some of them never cried at all, even when they were a baby. And they start to cry when they walk into the Oval Office.
What is he talking
Pretty
about?
amazing. Since my election, America has gained 7 million brand new jobs, including 220,000 brand
Didn't he make a
beautiful
point
new
to say
jobs.
this is not
The place
a rally?
called North Carolina. Isn't that correct?
I still want that cartoony nature to the hands here.
New business applications
So,
in North Carolina have surged by 30%. African American workers have gained 1.3
you say Bad Hair Day?
million
Is that on the Harley?
First time ever.
Or Joaquin? Because both of them kind of are not having the greatest hair day.
Think of this. For the first time ever, most new hires, it's new jobs, are minorities and women. Think of that. First time ever. The unemployment rate has just hit and has been for a little while, but just hit the lowest in over 50 years. The average unemployment rate under my administration is lower than any previous administration in the history of our country. Think of that, the average rate. The average rate,
Don't let
and you've
that
heard
be
me say
the-
this many times, but I keep saying it because I think people are really getting it and understanding what's going on. It's been an incredible thing. African American unemployment, Hispanic American unemployment, Asian American unemployment have all reached the lowest levels in the history of our country. I say it because, very importantly, African American youth unemployment has reached its lowest level ever recorded. African American poverty has plummeted to the lowest rate ever recorded, the best numbers we've ever had. Remember, I used to say, what do you have to lose? I was in a room and it started, and I'm reading off economic numbers, the worst crime numbers, worst housing ownership numbers, worst everything, just worst education, worst everything. I think there were 9 or 10 different very major factors. African American. I said, you've been with the Democrats for 100 years, 112 to be exact, over 100 years, and they treat you badly, and they only come around 2 months before the election. And then right after the election, they say, bye-bye, we'll see you in 2 years or 4 years, right? But they come around and they work real hard, they want you wrong, and then the day after the election, they're gone. That's the Democrats. And I said, all these bad numbers, what the hell do you have to lose? I say it 2 ways. When I have a very sophisticated, tough group like this, I say, what the hell do you have to lose? And when I have a very kind group, I know too many of the people in this place, not so kind. But I say, what do you have to lose? It's very much less effective when I say it that way. When I go, what do you have to lose? It's like, let's fall asleep. But when I say, but I remember I said it this night, I said, what? There's 25,000 people. I said, what the hell do you have to lose? The place went crazy. Then I went off stage and my people told me, I don't know, that's not nice. I said, no, it's true. It's true. What do they have to lose? Right? They didn't like it. They didn't like it. That's why they're all looking for jobs. We didn't take them. But I said, no, we got to get the point across. And we did well in the election, but now we're doing numbers that I think maybe no Republican has done. We're doing numbers. Let's see if that has to carry November 3rd. We have to go to November 3rd. But the numbers have been incredible. And thank you for putting on that beautiful hat. I love that hat. But thank you, man. But it's incredible what you're seeing now.
I'm guessing that was a MAGA hat in the audience.
Renaissance for African American, but for Asian American, for women, for everybody. Workers without a high school diploma have achieved the lowest unemployment rate ever recorded in history. Think of that. There's a lot of people. They don't have a diploma. They didn't go to high school. They went to high school. They didn't graduate, let's say. And now they're doing well.
I'm giving him.
Have seen a 16% increase since.
Well, it looked like loafers.
In wages. That's a record. This is a blue collar boom.
There's that statement.
Wages for African American workers have increased by $2,400 per year. That's a record. Since my election, the net worth of the bottom half of wage earners has increased by 47%. That's 3 times faster than the increase for the top 1%. Larry Kudlow left. He said, please read this. I say, who the hell is going to know what it means? But you know what it means? It means that people that are really working hard, that aren't doing so well, haven't done well, are doing proportionately better than people that are doing very well. It's great. Median household income reached the highest level ever recorded. Think of that way.
It's like, hey, here's a confusing sentence. Figure it out and clap if you want.
President Bush, 8 years.
Oh, here for Harley. CBC News?
President Obama for 8 years.
ABC News.
$975. President Trump, really when they did the stat, it was 2.5.
I didn't actually watch his State of the Union. I feel like I should have, maybe.
We'll keep the rallies going, don't worry. Even when we win next time, we'll do rallies. Okay. But no, think of it. So you have 450, you have 975. And now you have 2.5, but let's say 3 years instead of 8 years. So it's 8, 8, and 3. And with us, when you add the tax cuts and we add the regulation cuts,
now I'm just going to go back in and
$1,000, and that's in a short period of time. That's what's fueling.
dig in further with the
That's what's fueling
overall
the
look
that's
idea.
Why other countries aren't doing well and we are. And incredibly, according to the Gallup poll, no friend of mine, they tend to be slightly left of center, like about 200 degrees. 90% of Americans say they're satisfied with their personal life, the highest percentage ever. I wonder what their definition of personal life is. I don't know. That's a strange poll. I've never heard of a poll like that. Are you happy with your personal life? Is everyone happy with their personal life? I know Mark Meadows is. No, it's a strange poll. I'm trying to, if I give you a definition, there's a lot of definitions you can get there. To lift up underserved communities across the nation, our tax cuts.
I think what I'm going to do is actually come back to this because I do like the idea, but I'm not feeling it 100% right now. And that is bad because I'll just continue on and
these deserving communities have not known opportunity in a long time, but now the investments are flooding in, creating energy and creating excitement.
and this is what's behind them in the actual comic book photo is
one of the Americans benefiting from this
bridge.
pressure of new investment.
I believe this was down like in the back cave or something.
Because I introduced him during the Army veteran Tony Rankins of Cincinnati, Ohio. Good place.
So maybe I'll change the tied up thing entirely. In fact, because now
I did a good job. I love Cincinnati.
I just had a different idea entirely.
I love Cincinnati. After struggling with drug addiction, he lost his job,
Right.
his house, his family, and he was homeless. He lost everything. But then Tony found a construction company that does work in opportunity zones, and the company saw Tony's great skill and talent, helped him lift himself out of
From where it is right now, I could easily go in and make it look exactly like the comic because all of this would just be black.
Tony is now a top carpenter who renovates historic buildings
Right.
in Cincinnati. He's drug-free, and he is reunited with his family. And Tony, I'd love to have you come up and say a few words, please. Tony Rankins.
But yeah, I won't do that. because that's not. I'm gonna put it down as a layer. This is where I'm at. Bringing up too much dark.
Thank you. I'm not a public speaker, so bear with me. First of all, I would like to thank the President for signing this bill, because without it, I wouldn't be standing here before you right now. It means a lot to me, and I know it means a lot to the people that we're gonna help. I was homeless, and due to that fact, I know how it feels, and I know that sometimes when you're down, you don't feel like getting up. But with this bill that has been passed, it's going to be an opportunity for a lot of people to not be homeless and to get back on their feet and go back with their families. And I would just like to thank the President of the United States for doing this.
And there, I'm just gonna add in this, but I'm probably gonna take this portion of it out after, or for the most part, anyway.
A lot of love. The fact is, he became very famous. So he'll leave his job as a carpenter, he'll go to California, become a movie star now. You never know. Good. Tony, thanks a lot. They really did, and they loved you the other night. Sat right next to my daughter Ivanka, and great, really great. The construction business is where Tony's employed and working to help 200 people rise out of homelessness every year by investing in the opportunity zones. And now they're coming to North Carolina to build housing for veterans in an opportunity zone right here in Charlotte. And I want to thank their founder and ask their founder, Travis Steffens, to please come up and say a few words. Please, Travis.
I wonder if these people were notified beforehand that this was going to happen.
Thank you, Travis. You know, Tony got a much bigger hand than the boss, right? Much bigger.
Thank you all for investing your time to be here today. It's awesome. Thank you for loving on Tony. Tony, thank you for being the man that you are. And Mr. President, thank you for passing this incredible bill. We're all here to celebrate opportunity zones, and being part of the private sector, I just really want to implore all of us to pull together for the opportunity that we have to reunite this country through this bill. We've been working in opportunity zones for 14 years, and over that time, that's when we fell in love with being able to help the people in these areas. And all of us having the opportunity to take advantage of these long-term investments, which is what's going to really make the difference, is really where it's at. And so this bill was really well thought through with this 10-year enactment, and being able to have that amount of focus on these areas is really what's going to be impactful. And understanding that putting the people first, the money will come later. I guarantee it. We're proof of that. So
is it just a build and they will come statement?
So we've helped hundreds of people like Tony, and you guys can do the exact same thing. So we'd love to share our model. We'd love to explore it with you. We have an awesome algorithm, and it's not proprietary. We'd love to help this expand across the country.
Okay, I'm going to add a little more black just into here.
How did he do, Tony? Did okay? He did good, right? You did better. He did better. Thank you very much. And thank you, Travis. And it's 200 people, I think, Travis, so that's tremendous. 200, you'll be up to a lot more than that. To further support opportunity zones, I established the White House Opportunity and the Revitalization Council, chaired by Secretary Carson. Ben's worked very hard on it. Really.
All right, and that's
its mission is to marshal
the overall look. Now I don't mind it from a distance. From there, that's the image I'll go for later.
Under my administration,
but also
we're working every day to restore the American promise of upward
I probably don't
We
want
don't want anyone to just get by. We want everyone to get ahead and get ahead big league. From the day I took office,
have this
I have
be
been working to build an unlimited
an office.
for African American communities who have given, served, and sacrificed so much for our nation. Tremendous amount. I have been fighting for higher wages, fair trade deals, safe communities, affordable health care, lower drug prices. This year, meaning last year's numbers just came in, first time in 51 years where drug prices, prescription drugs went down. First time in 51 years. And frankly, if the Democrats would ever negotiate, instead of wasting all their time, we could drive those prices down so low. It would be so beautiful. I mean, what's not to like? But we're fighting for school choice and also criminal justice reform. You know, we got that done.
Alright, and now I'm gonna add
Criminal justice reform. Big thing, we got it done. I will not rest.
I am going to make this paneling down here instead of obviously a bridge. This will be like for paneling, and this will be some type of wallpaper.
We're not interested in continuing yesterday's failures.
But there will be blood here, blood on the window.
We want to disrupt what's broken. We want to really disrupt this place because none of the other stuff worked. When you look at the opportunity zones, how successful they've been, we're doing things that are just really incredible. Now the economy's helping, I guess, and a lot of things are happening. A lot of good things are happening, but so many people are benefiting.
Right.
We want to challenge what's failed.
This was her.
Focus on delivering real results, improving real lives, and
Clipboard.
making the world a better place for every American child, no matter their place of birth or zip code or residence, no matter where they live, no matter where they come from. Our commitment to opportunity now includes those who have been released from prison. This is the first time where prisoners are coming out and getting jobs and not having to go back. The percentage is unbelievably different.
Maybe there'd be a lamp.
To give former prisoners the chance for a fresh start. Last year, I was proud to sign the landmark criminal justice reform into law.
Like
Took a lot of work. It was a very tough one. They've been trying to get it for a long time.
fallen over lamp, maybe.
And
So at the bottom of the lamp right here.
We got it done. We get things done. America is a nation that believes in redemption.
Bent.
People were in jail. You know Alice Johnson. She spent 22 years in jail. She had 18 or 20 left for something no good, but not. It's not a 40 or 50 year sentence. And she's an incredible woman. You probably saw the ad we took at the Super Bowl. And
that's the bottom.
I had another ad. We had two of them, and the first one was going to go in that spot. That was the best spot. That was right after the first time out. And this was one with jets and aircraft carriers and missiles all over the place. It was exciting. It was great. And I thought this was going to be just great. And then we had the Alice Johnson ad. So we played the first one. I have one guy in particular who's a tremendously talented person.
Piece of glass.
And everybody just assumed, you know, the missiles and the planes, that was going to be the ad. And then we'll put Alice back a little bit further, frankly, and not in as good. You have two spots. You can get one great spot, one not so great spot. This guy comes in, looks at both ads. He says, the Alice Johnson ad is unbelievable. I said, what about the aircraft carriers? He said, it's fine, but, you know, I've seen them before. You do them all the time, actually, right? And as soon as he said that, I realized, and everybody is talking about that ad. Alice is a tremendous woman, a tremendous person. And I said, how many other women do you know in prison like that, Alice? She said, many. I said, now, do you know some that can't come out? Absolutely. Because I wanted to hear that too, because that's true also. But I said, how many? She said, many. I said, get me their names. Just get me their names. She knows. She's in there a long time. 22 years she spent. A roaring economy has, for the first time ever, given many former prisoners the ability to go out and get a great job. We've also made it a priority
So that's going to be the lamp.
to expand second chance hiring practices. Good. When my administration says hire American, we mean all Americans, every American. To help former inmates find housing, jobs, and support, my administration has established the Council on Crime Prevention and Reentry. Very big deal. Today I'm proud to announce that I'm appointing Tony Loudon, pastor of Maranatha Baptist Church. Where's Tony? In Georgia? Tony? Where's Tony? Come on, Tony. And Tony's going to be our executive director. Tony, tell us a little about your work, please.
All right.
To God be the glory.
Now I think I have the full picture, at least when I do come back, to finish it up. Oh, put on CBC News. You probably said that a very long time ago. I haven't looked up in a while. No idea how long I've been recording. Hour and a half.
Find themselves in our prisons. And here's one for you. Too many of our soldiers come home with
okay, well, that was pretty much the process of going from sketch idea to just fully fleshing it out. But there is still a lot to do with the photo itself, or with the picture itself.
And so with this legislation that the president signed, now is the time to take this opportunity, rebuild our communities. And if you learn how to cut hair and cut grass and be an entrepreneur in prison, we're going to give you a second chance, and we're going to make sure you come home with your driver's license, your ID, and your birth certificate, so you can get back on your feet and be reunited with your family. Now is the time.
You gotta be able to see that it's a nurse's uniform when I do sketch it in.
Businesses, our Chamber of Commerce, and all our legislators, now is the time to get together and get behind this president. Thank you.
Maybe I'd put a cigarette out on the floor here too. Some ash.
Wow. He's done that before. He's some pastor. That's what the word is. Now I understand. We're grateful to you, Pastor. Thank you very much. All of our country's African American churches have done such an incredible job. Everything they do, they really raise the spirit of our people and lift up the conscience of our nation. We really appreciate you being here. It was beautiful. Thank you very much.
The CBC have a live stream. Let me go check that out.
African American churches.
Might not be a hurtful idea,
To make the most of the
because
very
this is,
boundless opportunity that every American child
although Canadian news is just as
education. Yet for too long, countless
boring. All right, so that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed watching me mess up a whole bunch and sketch around and do other things. I didn't even put my 10-minute video in midway through, so maybe I'll do it next time around. All right, thank you very much, and if you want to get more in depth and see all the before and after live streaming stuff, grab hold of a tier on my Patreon, or just follow me on Instagram. Keep a hold of me through YouTube. Comment, like, subscribe. Absolutely everything helps. Follow me on Facebook. I'll be doing a lot of live streaming over there soon now as well. And yeah, that's it. Dun 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 dun. Quack.